Namaste, dear audience. We are again here with our fifth video in the series Patanjali Yogasutras Simplified for Common People. In this video, we are going to learn about Chittavrittis. A quick recap of what we learned in last four videos. What we learned was what is yoga? Yoga is Chittavritti Nirodha. Yoga is arresting of activity of mind, thought waves, ingress of knowledge, etc. And what is Chittavritti? The same, ingress of knowledge, thought waves. Then what happens when you carry out this Chittavritti Nirodha? Yoga happens. What is yoga? Yoga is joining yourself with your Atman, your Purusha, your real self through attainment of samadhi. So, when you arrest Chittavrittis, you attain samadhi. When you attain samadhi, you are able to realize the Atman. So, this is what happens when you arrest Chittavrittis. What happens when you don't arrest Chittavrittis? When you don't arrest Chittavrittis, mind is like a turbulent lake where there are waves. You cannot see any image, any reflection clearly. You cannot see the bottom of the lake clearly. As a result, the Atman, the Purusha looks merged with the waves, the Chittavrittis, and it keeps you away from the Atma Darshan. So this is what we learn. Now let's see in detail what are Chittavrittis. Maharishi Patanjali says, Vrittaya panchataya klishta aklishta. Vrittis are of five types, fivefold vrittis, and they can be klishta, that is afflicted, they can be aklishta, not afflicted. The klishta and aklishta part we will see later. Let's first see what are these five chittavrittis that Maharishi Patanjali is describing. So, what his next sutra is Pramana Viparya Vikalpa Nidra Smrutaya. These are the five chittavrittis. First one is Pramana, that's obtaining valid knowledge, true knowledge. Second is Viparya, that is false knowledge, illusion. The third is Vikalpa. Vikalpa is conceptual knowledge through imagination, through stored memory. The fourth vritti is Nidra. Nidra is sleep. This is also a vritti where you are not aware of anything. Most of the chitta vrittis are stopped, but there is an awareness that you are there. And the last one is Smriti. Smriti is memory, recollection. Let's see these vrittis one by one in detail. But what we must remember is whatever thoughts, cognitions, perceptions that you may have, they will all fall in these five categories. And that's a very comprehensive job which has been achieved by Maharishi Patanjali. Is to be able to classify them into five types is really creditable. Now, what are these five chittavrittis and how to stop them? So, how to stop them? For that, five types are given. As you know the details of the chittavrittis, when you know more about them, it will be an easier job to arrest them, stop them. So, first chittavritti is pramana, valid knowledge. What he says is pratyakshanumana gamaha pramanani. That means, what are pramana modes of valid knowledge? There are three: pratyaksha, anumana, agama. Pratyaksha is direct perception when your sense organs are in direct contact with the object we perceive. Knowledge obtained through pratyaksha is pure, uncontaminated, valid knowledge. Anumana. Anumana is inference. It's not always possible to be pratyaksha, to be there in person, to be in contact with the object. So many a time we use inference to perceive the object. For example, if you see the smoke, you will infer that there must be fire there, and that's how you get the knowledge. So anumana requires ability to correlate, understanding of correlation and storing of that correlation. Anumana also has got subtypes. We use them very often, and what we can say is, for example, you observe that whenever A happens, B happens. So you form a rule through inference that whenever A, then B. That's called induction, a generalization. The second type of anumana is, now you know the rule, whenever A, then B. So whenever A happens, you predict that A, therefore B will follow. That's called deduction. There is a third type. Now you see B has happened, and so you infer A must have happened. That's called abduction. So induction, deduction, abduction. These are the three types of anumanas or inferences. The next one is agamaha. Agama is knowledge traditionally handed down to us through authoritative literature, scriptures, or experts, trusted people. So Vedas, the Shrutis, that means the Vedas and Upanishads, are a very prominent example of agamaha. Their knowledge is unquestionable and trusted and very valid. These days you have standard journals like Lancet, Nature for physics, medical sciences. We trust them. We call their knowledge as valid knowledge. It is a peer-reviewed knowledge. And at the same time, there are some experts whom you believe that if so and so man is saying this, it must be true. So that's the third way of pramana. And it's all valid knowledge. Now next come to viparya. Viparya, mithya jnanam atadrupa pratishtham. So viparya is false knowledge, not true to its form, its original form. So there are a few examples of viparya that will clarify this. That for example, mirage. A mirage is not water, but you are seeing the water. That's an illusion. That's a false knowledge. Now, whenever something is wrong with the sensory organ, there is a limitation on the sensory organ, or when there is something wrong with the object, mithya dhyanam, false knowledge results. That's viparya. And in the yogic world, we can say a prominent example of viparya would be that this I, my mind-body complex, I consider as I, rather than the Atman within me, which is right now beyond me. I am unable to perceive it. And that is the real self, but I call this mind-body complex as I. That's a viparya. The next one is vikalpa. What they say about vikalpa is shabda jnananupati vikalpa. Shabda jnananupati vastu shunyaha vikalpa. So vikalpa is that mode of knowledge, that mode of cognition where the knowledge, the jnana, the awareness, the cognition, perception follows the word. There is no object present there. You don't need to. Only merely based on the word, you can build the concept or recall the concept, and you have. For example, if I say Switzerland, none of us is in Switzerland, but the moment the word is uttered, we have the concept of Switzerland. Maybe snow, maybe good weather, maybe tourists, hotels, good roads, and whatnot. So that's how Switzerland has got many attached characteristics, and together that bunch exists as a word in our mind, and that's how it is Vikalpa Vastu Shunya. Vikalpa is a very important mode of knowledge, and it is going to be used later on in the Yoga Sutra. It is going to be used for attaining various stages of samadhi. We will shortly learn more about it. But let me give you another thing what has been said in the literature, not very ancient. There is a 12th century text. What it says about Vikalpa, the name of the text is Manasollas, and it says Jnanam Dvidha Vastumatra Dyotakam Nirvikalpam. There are two types of knowledge. The first is Nirvikalpa, that is without a Vikalpa. Vikalpa is option, Vikalpa is alternative. Vastumatra Dyotakam, it only indicates the object. Object only it indicates, nothing more. That's why it is Nirvikalpa. Jnanam Dvidha Vastumatra Dyotakam Nirvikalpam Savikalpam tu. That means the knowledge which is with Vikalpa, with option. Savikalpam tu Saudnya Jnyotakam Anekadha. It is indicated by name, by word, and it is with many alternatives, Anekadha. What it means is, with a name, you can have multiple concepts, many meanings in the mind. A word can have different perception for different people. Whereas Nirvikalpa knowledge, there is only direct perception, no word associated. I'll give you an example. I say a word tank. Somebody who has just read Second World War literature, for him the tank, the word will invoke the image and memories of battle tank. Somebody who is going through water crisis, he will have understanding getting dawned upon him is that of water tank. Same word tank giving two meanings. So Nirvikalpa knowledge is that which has no alternative, no ambiguity, whereas Vikalpa can have different meaning, ambiguity, and sometimes can lead to invalid knowledge. Or the tank is one word with two different forms. I'll give you another example of milk. When I uttered the word milk, for somebody in a village, milk is directly taken from cow. Somebody who is staying in a city, for him milk is what comes in the packet, that's the image, it's still milk. But you go to Ashwathama, son of Guru Dronacharya. When he asked for milk, his mother gave him milk which was water mixed with flour. Now, he is considering that milk, that as milk, which is viparyaya. Mithya dhyanam atadrupa pratishtham. It is not true to the milk. Viparyaya. But for Ashwathama, it becomes vikalpa. Whenever milk is uttered, the image that comes to his mind is flour mixed with water. Same word, different forms. There are two more vrittis which we have to go through, but we will take them up in the next video. I do not want to burden the attention span of the viewer and make it hit. In the meantime, watch this video. It is a little technical in nature, but I am sure it is enjoyable and interesting as you go on understanding it more and more. Thank you.